Chainlink price update, currently around $24. We're going to start off on the high time frame, the monthly. Look at what we need to close the month at, things to watch for in the distant future, and the not so distant future. Then we'll zoom in to the weekly and the daily to what we need to be watching out for the next couple days on this little bit of a shakeup we've got. With the Fed dropping interest rates by a quarter basis points, that's likely the cause of the volatility. Could be a knee-jerk reaction. I still think an alt season is coming in the not-so-distant future, so we're going to look at all that. So let's get right to it. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Telegram, and Patreon for more content. All right, currently, we're breaking above our high time frame zone, our 618 at 2138 on the macro from our last cycle high to our bear cycle low, right? That's this fib. And then our shorter term fib is our March highs and our August lows. So we're currently doing great. Off of $8 low not that long ago, we've knocked on the door and actually broke through 30 momentarily. We'll get right back. We got very close to the 786 here, if you notice, right? Range highs back here. That's where our wick went to, right? At previous range highs of the last cycle peak, right? So what are we looking for the monthly closing in 12 days, 8 hours? I'm glad you asked. First and foremost, let's close above the 618 at 2138. I would much more appreciate a close above the 1, which is 2276. We can get there. That would be great. We also want to look at our Gaussian channel. The top of the monthly Gaussian channel is at 2065, so that'd be like worst case. But that would be pretty bad because you'd have this high wick. We'd have a wick that would be, 33% above us. So we don't want that. Even though it would be a win and it would be our first close outside the Gaussian channel since the bear market, right? Back in here. We need more bulls than that. So ideally 618 to, we could even, I would like to cinch this zone up here for the monthly. Like I would put it right there. Close anywhere in or above that, and great. In the next 12 days, 8 hours. And then we're looking at, the 786 and the 1618 on the shorter term at 40. So 30 to 40 should come pretty quickly, depending on how strong of a month we close in December. All right, so the good stuff's ahead for altcoins, Chainlink included. So having said that, for the macro, if we move down, I don't anticipate a whole lot of months down. If we opened up like January, bad for some whatever reason, we have the 786 here, previous high time frames here. We have this zone here just under the EMA 8. Now these moving averages, look at the sharp uptick on these moving averages. That tells me we're not moving down anytime real soon. This low, I should say. If we did, it'd be really short-lived, and that would be for, buying opportunities, right? So having said that, EMA 8, 1421 is what you need to watch. The 618 on this retrace, 1537. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. I'd be looking more at the higher time frames. This should be holding up in there. I don't forecast this going back below 20 much, if ever. And if we did, it'd be pretty short. Okay, so let's zoom in. Let's look at the weekly now. We have this major move up, almost 200%, really 200%, right? In 30 days. We need to have a correction here, or at least a breath. Let's go with breath. You have a big move. You need to take a breath before you get too unhealthy, and you have to take a bigger move down. So this is exactly what we need to do. And who cares if it takes a little bit of time, right? We're in Chainlink. We know patience. And if we throw in a move like this over the rest of the year, so be it. This would kind of shape up to be a bull flag, and then we would look at our next breakout in between now and Q1 2025. We should be, as long as that EMA 8 holds on the weekly, which it should. That's at 2088 as of now, slightly moving up week over week. The next target's over 40. It's 43. This is the next spot. Certainly if this plays out like this. And I would anticipate within the next, probably 6 weeks after this bounce, Not from now, but like depending on where we hold. Now it could be this week. We could be one and done. Great. If it takes the rest of the year, so be it. I would anticipate somewhere in this zone holding, and our next major move would be another significant move, right? That was, right, 200% that we looked at. This would be much less. So even if it was at the EMA 8 as of now, we'd be looking at just 100%, half of this. We can do half of this and get to our 1618 pretty quick, right? That was pretty quick, 30 days. Why couldn't we do that in, 5 or 6 weeks? Of course. All right. And then we're looking at, all-time highs are in our sights, or maybe we just blast through it. Maybe we go right to all-time highs. Possibility, especially with, alt season. If we're in alt season, Chainlink might not even take a breath anymore. Or maybe we did another 200%. Maybe we go from, 25 to 50, like straight away. All right. So that's what we watch for on the weekly to the down and upside. Now let's go look at shorter time frames with a little bit of volatility that we got here. All right. So we have our Gaussian channel. It doesn't really help us much anymore, right? It's way the hell down there, which is a good thing, right? But you can see right now we're put to the test here. So what I mean by that is the 21 EMA, the 21 day. Last time we went just below it 3 times, 3 consecutive days, but held it, right? Closing prices, great. Closing prices now, right? We haven't closed. We have 7 hours. So depending on when you watch this, did we close above or below it? So what does that mean if we close below it? I'm glad you asked. Probably more consolidation or a little bit further downside. You can see this lower Bollinger Band now around 19. Doesn't mean we have to go to the bottom of it, but here's our zone. Here's our high time frame zone, which we're probably going to spend some time in if we close onto this 21. Again, no big deal. The longer we can, if we want to do that weekly bull flag that we looked at, right? Remember, if we go back to this 8 EMA at $21, right, and we want to do a textbook bull flag, it's going to take a couple of weeks to get down here. So go looking at this on the daily time frame, that same arrow, right? Not going to, I doubt it's going to take till January, February, right? That got a little skewed with the time frame, but we'll be looking at something like this for the rest of the year, loosely fit. Nothing goes straight up or down, but something along the lines of this. And then, we're ripping up late January, early February to our $43 plus target. That's what I'm seeing. And this would be a little bit more confident in playing out. I would be a little bit more confident in that if we close, I would say 2 consecutive candles under this 21. So 24.45 as of today. That'll fluctuate a little bit. But 1 candle's no big deal. And we haven't even closed, right? So depending on if we close below it, that will be the kind of the momentum shift swing, right? You can lose a little bit of momentum if you do that. 2 candles, much more confident and more consolidation. And this is probably market-wide, not Chainlink specific. But we're just trying to play the odds, right? We could close 2 candles down here and then rip to 31, right? Could happen. What are odds? And we'll do an update on this, maybe even tomorrow, certainly next week. So let me know what you want to see or what you're thinking of. Could we go lower? Do you think we're going under? I doubt it. Lower Bollinger Band acts as pretty good support. I don't foresee that unless, Jerome Powell comes out again and tries to smack everyone down for Christmas. Scrooge, thanks a lot. But barring something non-foreseen, I think Chainlink, worst case, should oscillate around the $20 mark, which is historically for the past several years has been kind of a significant number, right? We all know that. All right, Bitcoin hovering around 100K. We need Bitcoin dominance, right? Just if you're still here watching, we need it to chill here, right? And if it breaks, right? I put a video on this yesterday. Go check that out. This should hold, hopefully hold. If it doesn't, we're probably going to make a run to 60 again. And we got to put in a lower high, like worst case scenario. As this is rising, right, Bitcoin has control, which is why you're seeing some alts kind of not doing anything and some doing a little bit. And, right, Bitcoin dominance rises, he's got reins. The Bollinger Bands are set up for continued upside, but we are at the upper Bollinger Band and resistance here. Previous range high, resistance, flip to support, broken, flip to resistance, hopefully resistance again. And if this plays out, you'll see altcoins start to flourish again. And alt season likely begins somewhere between like 55 to 54%. Certainly we take out these lows and we're going batshit crazy to the moon. Chainlink should be well above 40 when we're down here, and maybe even all-time highs. So that'll be interesting, and I think that's going to happen here with Q1 obviously for sure, and very likely like early January, I would think. All right, so just side note on that if you're watching this long, little bonus tip there. And yeah, back to Link. All right, blue shirts back on once we're high 20s again. Let's get back to range highs, and then we'll put the flannel back. All right, let's just get a nice green candle again, or like if we get a 10% plus daily candle, we'll make a video and the flannel will be on. Make no mistake. All right, quote and car of the day. Let's do a car of the day first. Aston Martin DBX, one of the most impressive looking SUVs on the market, if I do say so myself. I do like the Lamborghini Urus, but a little bit more than this. So for the price, I think it's probably the best. I love the rear taillights. Looks like the Aston Martin Vantage as well. And the rear. I love that thin little LED taillight. All right, looks fantastic to me. Quote of the day. Jim Rohn. We're sticking with our Jim Rohn. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you don't like who you are, I can guess what your friends are. Touche. All right. Enough, Jim. We'll watch for that close today. We'll see. We were looking at 24.46 today. Close above it, and we live to fight on. Maybe we got another rally coming.